Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video. This is episode number 382. This is also the 999th video. You know what that means. 1000 is coming up next. It will be going up this coming Friday, which also happens to be NoDQ.com's 15-year anniversary. I first started WWFWCW.com back on November 8th, 1998. So hard to believe it's been 15 years for me doing this. I was 15 years old when I started, so half my life I've spent running an internet wrestling website. So there you go. With that being said, let's get right down to your questions from spring.me/AaronRift. Okay, this first one today comes from VKRX Skills. Hey Aaron, my question is about Los Matadores. Do you see any future for them? I know they are Primo and Epico, but I just do think they are not good anymore. Well, as far as they are concerned, I think that it's a gimmick that's not going to have long-term potential. On the short term, yes, it's entertaining. El Torito coming out there, flipping around and doing all the cool tricks. It's entertaining as a lower mid-card comedy act, but it's not going to have any kind of mileage to it. It's something that's going to run its course after a while. But knowing how WWE operates, wouldn't surprise me to see it go on way too long. Just like Santino, just like Great Khali as the big lover boy, and all the other goofy mid-card gimmicks that they have. So, I think they had to do something with those guys because Primo and Epico, as they were just floundering on the roster and were just two guys. At least now they have some sort of push, and that WWE's doing something with them, even if it is a knockoff of Tito Santana from 20 years ago. But that was 20 years ago, so I guess in WWE world, after 20 years, you can just recycle old storylines. I guess I don't know. All right, this one comes from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, it was great to see Tyson Kidd back on Raw. What did you think of it? I thought he did a great job. I thought that he looks to be in great shape, and he didn't really have a chance to show much because it was a short match and it was a mixed tag team match, so he was only in there for a few minutes. But from what I saw, I mean, he looks like he is ready to get back on the horse and try to climb the ladder in WWE. So I hope he can pull it off because he had a long road to recovery, and a lot of people think very highly of him and think that he could be a major superstar. So I hope he stays healthy, and I hope he gets pushed in the coming months, and I think he will because Total Divas has been a success for WWE, and he's been a major star on that show. So I think at least for the next several months he should have a prominent role on WWE television, as long as Total Divas is still a hit for WWE. All right, this one comes from Shiggy Diggy Bang. Do you think it's time for Mark Henry, Christian, and Rey Mysterio to retire? They're good at what they do, but they can never come back for too long before they get injured. That's a great point, but you know what? It's not for me to decide. It's not for anybody watching this to decide. It's up to each individual. They need to decide when it's time to hang it up and stop wrestling. For some of these guys, it's the only thing that they know. I mean, Big Show talked about on Raw several weeks ago how he only knows how to be a giant, and he only knows how to wrestle, and there's not much that a 7-foot giant can do besides wrestle. And you could say that for a lot of these guys. I mean, that this is what they're known for. This is their career, their lives, being WWE superstars. So what do you really do after that? Some guys have the option of going into acting, and The Rock is the best example. He's had an extremely successful career outside of WWE, and even Edge to a lesser degree. I mean, he's doing TV shows and other projects, so he's keeping busy. But a lot of these guys have the attitude that wrestling is in their blood, and they want to keep doing it for as long as their body will physically allow them to. And there's that saying that nobody really retires in wrestling unless they're absolutely forced to. There's very few guys that voluntarily walk away from the business. They might say they're done. They might retire for a few years, but they keep coming back. I think that Mark Henry, Christian, Rey Mysterio will keep going. I mean, I think if they were going to retire, they would have done so by now. I think that they're just going to keep trying to get back in the mix and keep doing something, stay involved in the wrestling business somehow, even if it's not wrestling on a regular basis. Doing the media appearances. Rey Mysterio, doing the commentary, or Mark Henry showing up at a WWE sponsored event. Those kind of things. I think that all three of those guys will continue to be involved in some fashion. All right, this one comes from Drizzle44. Hey Aaron, is WWE? I think I almost said WWF there. Is WWE giving up on Daniel Bryan being WWE champion, or is there something else in the works for the near future, like him winning the Royal Rumble and finally winning it at WrestleMania and actually holding on to it for a while? Well, I'm sure WWE would like you to believe that there is a bigger plan here, and a lot of people seem to think that certainly WWE isn't going to be giving up on Daniel Bryan right now when he's had so much momentum and the crowd is behind him to a ridiculous degree, despite the fact that he hasn't been pushed that hard. And even though the crowd cheers him like a Steve Austin type character, WWE likes to book him like he's Mick Foley, like he's just some goof that everybody loves but really isn't deserving of being the face of the company. In a perfect world, he would win the Rumble and win at WrestleMania, and WrestleMania would end with Daniel Bryan clearly the face of the company, and that's what the 1 million homes across the country and the world are watching. They see Daniel Bryan on top, and those casual fans tuning in say, hey, this guy seems to be really over. He's a great wrestler. Maybe I'll keep watching Raw. But, in all likelihood, I think that Daniel Bryan will be lucky to have a key match at WrestleMania. And he even said it himself at the convention he did a few weeks ago. He said that, he's worried that he's going to end up on the pre-show match against Tons of Funk. I don't think it'll be that bad for him, but yeah, if I was Daniel Bryan, I would definitely be concerned about WrestleMania and having a key role in that show. And he really should have a major role and be in a top tier match. But I just don't know if that's going to happen. And I would actually be very surprised if he was in a main event at WrestleMania. All right, this one comes from Kayfabe Candy Ass. Which WrestleManias were the best in your opinion? 1 through 9, 10 through 19, or 20 through 29? Well, I think that's a pretty easy answer for me, at least. I would have to say 10 through 19 because that includes WrestleMania 17, which besides the finish with Austin and The Rock, that was easily the best WrestleMania of all time. Well, not easily because I really liked 19 as well, and those two were actually neck and neck for me. 19 might even be my personal favorite WrestleMania, but I know everyone loves 17. You have 17, you have 19, you have 18 with Hogan and The Rock. You have WrestleMania 13 with Austin and Bret Hart. WrestleMania 14 with Austin winning the title. So, those WrestleManias had a lot of key moments. WrestleMania 10 with Bret Hart and Owen Hart, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches ever. In the ladder match, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon. So I think that that period would definitely be the best in terms of the most memorable WrestleMania matches. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW, and tune in to NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel this Friday. I will have the 1,000th video posted, and it'll be a great day. 15 years. Looking back at the history of NoDQ.com, and I think you guys will really enjoy the video. Now, before I go, got 2 more questions here, so hopefully not too many of you shut off the video. This one comes from Bobby612. Hey Aaron, is there a title unification match at WrestleMania 30? And if there is a unification match at WrestleMania 30, what happens to the Royal Rumble winner? Well, I think the easy solution here would be that the Royal Rumble winner gets to challenge The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. I think that would be an excellent substitute for a title match because, pretty much everyone would consider Undertaker's match to be the main event, and that's just as important, if not more important, than the title matches at WrestleMania is getting to be in the match against the Undertaker, because that's what everybody talks about, and WrestleMania is all about the streak. So that's what I would do if WWE is going to do a unification match. I think that the Rumble winner should get Undertaker's the shot against Undertaker at WrestleMania. And last one today from Nikki Sturzu. On the last video, you mentioned the possibility of a unification match at WrestleMania 30. Do you agree with the idea of a John Cena versus Randy Orton for the new title? What is your dream match should a unification match happen? Thanks. Well, you know what? I know a lot of people are going to have mixed feelings about John Cena versus Randy Orton since they had so many matches in the past. But, I mean, they've never had a one-on-one WrestleMania match, and if you're going to do a unification match, which I don't know that's a fact at this point, I mean, it's just speculation. If you're going to do a unification match for WrestleMania 30, you might as well do John Cena and Randy Orton and have both guys stay champion from now until WrestleMania. You don't want to have a bunch of title changes and then you're going to do a unification match. I mean, you want to have Randy Orton as a dominant champion, you want to have John Cena as a dominant champion, and then have those two guys clash at WrestleMania. That seems to be the most logical way to go, and would not surprise me to see Cena versus Orton at WrestleMania because from the get-go, the plan in WWE was for John Cena to come back from injury and be in the main event storyline, the McMahon storyline, where he's coming in and he's gonna represent Vince or represent whoever the baby faces are against the heel Randy Orton and the Authority. So that's what I see happening. That'll be the conclusion of the whole McMahon storyline. They want to do something big because it is, after all, WrestleMania 30, and it's a milestone event. So, John Cena, Randy Orton, the end of the Authority. John Cena unifies the titles. I could very well see being the end of WrestleMania 30. And I don't know if people are going to like that or not. Some people will love it. Some people hate it. But WWE is going to do what they think is best for business.